Shirl. Who names their kids Shirl?
Same person that names him Sue.
No, nobody wants to get finally to where they're planning on getting to then spend half the day setting up camp.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I really appreciate this product is because it's just so darn redneck. You know, it's like...
Thank you. Thank you. I am proud. At night when you get back, it literally takes 24 seconds to unbuckle the 3 buckles and get in the
24 seconds. Not 30. 24 seconds.
And I didn't say 25. Okay?
I'm just going to surprise kick you with questions.
You could start it, but he just takes over anyway.
That's right. Anyway, so
just let him start.
That's right.
It's just Brian, you know, it's got to put
Here we
his
go.
finger on everything.
All right, folks. Welcome to the Gritty Bowmen podcast and the Gritty Angler podcast, because I'm here with my buddy Chad Nelson from Gritty Angler.
Yeah.
And we're in Chad's cabin up here.
Saskatchewan, Canada.
That's right.
That's right.
It's a beautiful, beautiful place by a reservoir, and it's beautiful here. It's actually Utah.
We're not in Saskatchewan.
Yeah. We're in, this is Strawberry?
Strawberry Reservoir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not far from Park City, which we went and checked out earlier.
Yep.
So it's pretty cool. Utah's pretty cool. But we are joined by the guys from Canvas Cutter. For all you guys that whine about product podcasts, just so you know, I'm not paid by Canvas Cutter.
He's not. I can guarantee that.
I'm not paid by Canvas. Actually, it's just a cool product that I've been seeing online and stuff, and then we met, and I was like, man, I'm really interested in learning about it. So for you whiners who don't want to be part of a product podcast, you might want to turn off the podcast now. But for those of you who might be interested in a cool product, here's your chance. So
our guests are Seth and Shirl,
Yep.
founders, owners of Canvas Cutter.
Larsen.
Yeah.
So Shirl, it's kind of, we talked about this offline. I asked him, so who names their kid Shirl? And he said,
The same guy that names him Sue.
and I couldn't help but think of Johnny Cash. So, so this product, before we get into that, Canvas Cutter, where did that name come from?
That's a good question. I was thinking of what to name it, and I mainly worked with canvas, and it was my wife that come up with it. She said, you ought to call it Canvas Cutter, and so, I don't know, it's sort of stuck with me, and that's where it came about. We were just thinking
this whole thing's a long journey.
It's kind of a cool logo,
Kind of, Brian.
It's
dang cool.
Dude,
who came up with the logo?
Rad.
A neighbor of ours did. Lane Kim. He does graphic design, photography. He's an awesome guy. We had him working on logos. It took a while, but we finally got this one. I knew that was it. There was, everybody does like mountains or, sorry, those of you who do mountains, or like horns. Everybody does a horn, and
right.
We wanted something that could fit in a large spectrum.
Yep.
Dude, this was it.
I like it. Canvas Cutter.
So it seems like you guys just blew up in the last 6 months, a year. At least that's when I became aware of you guys. How long you been around?
We've actually only been doing this for about 6 months, 7 months.
Okay, show off. So here's the thing. Like, I drive around in a truck, and Aaron and I have talked about this a lot. Aaron makes fun of me because I refuse to go to a hotel if it can at all be avoided.
I'm proud of you.
And I like to just sleep in the back of my truck on my little Thermarest pad and my featherweight like cot or any other cot. I pop it up and I sleep in the back of the truck. And I sleep in the back of my truck a lot. So naturally, when I saw this product, I was like, wait a minute. This would be awesome. For me.
I tag Game Changer in it, and I mean that. Like, and I tag, change your life, because it really will. It really is a big deal. If people just, had an opportunity to try it out or to see the vision of it, I think.
So for those listening, explain it.
It's like a bedroll. in the back of your. You just carry it around with your car, your vehicle, your truck.
You can throw it in the back of your truck. It's got a pad, a sleeping bag in it. It's a canvas cutter that you. It's a canvas cutter bedroll that it's made out of canvas, but it's not your typical canvas. Most canvas, traditional canvas, is waterproof because when it gets wet, it swells.
So it's got treatments on the outside.
But this is a
mold
marine
resistant
canvas. Yes, it's mildew resistant. It's waterproof, not just because it swells, but it actually has been treated. And it zips all the way
So yours is waterproof.
Waterproof. It zips all the way closed. Most bedrolls that people buy or use just flap close or they're open-ended, which it pretty much defeats the purpose. You might as well just throw out, because if it rains or if bugs or rodents are around, they still get in your stuff. Where this zips all the way closed, it's waterproof. The way the canvas cutter designed it, Shirl designed it, is the water just runs off with the seams and everything over the reason why we don't say waterproof is because the zipper we use it's not a waterproof zipper, because nobody likes zipper problems, and so we use a military grade zipper. It's really heavy duty.
It's rugged.
Yeah, he's made them for 17 years, and 17 years we haven't had a zipper come back.
I like to call stuff like that gritty.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
it's
it's
gritty.
very gritty.
It is gritty.
But
It's
you
gritty
also
gear.
have an awning like over your head, so you can you got some
we
headroom
just came
in
out
there.
with that. Yeah, it's a pull system to where there's a mat that you lay underneath your pad, and we have 2 aluminum poles that go in that, and it holds it off. Because some people are claustrophobic or don't want the canvas on you. And if it was raining or snowing, the canvas would be cold, and this kind of holds it off you. It can create like a little pocket, heat pocket.
It's kind of like a what do you call it? Bivy sack.
Bivy. Yeah, it's similar to a bivy, but there are differences, and I have a...
Like that, I'm not going to backpack with.
No, and we are... No, and we don't expect... Yeah, it's not for backpacking.
It's a car camping
It's for the
deal.
large majority of hunters and anglers that have a base camp or they're going over the weekend. I mean, we've slept in them for... When I had an elk tag down in southern Utah, he pretty much stayed in his canvas cutter you were down there for a month at least scouting and stuff. So,
Wow.
so
You know what it reminds me
can.
of, though, is like the old-timey, horse cowboy
gritty.
going across
It's gritty.
the plains or whatever, and their mule, and they got this canvas bedroll with all their stuff in it, and they roll it out, and they sleep in it wherever they're at, and they roll it back up, and they ride on.
Traditionally, that's where it comes from.
I love my canvas sleeping bag.
The thing is it's really comfy.
It's so comfy. Not light, like you said. You're not going to pack with it. But what does that weigh, by the way, anyways?
The cover is 7.5 pounds, and the Niner, a smaller one, well, this is the Niner, is 7 pounds. But we're working on some.
The thing
other
too
things.
cool about them is like when I'm home, I just leave all my gear in there. So when you get ready to go, you don't have to look for your pad. You don't have to look for your sleeping bag. I don't know how many people out there. I know I used to do it. Oh, I forgot my pillow, or oh, I forgot this. Well, when I get home, it's all there. So you just grab it, go. You don't have to worry about your gear. It's there.
Right.
And since you aren't worried about size or weight with it, I mean, you can be. It can roll. If you put an air pad in it and a down sleeping bag, it will roll up really small. But why? Like if you're going to throw it in the back of a truck or a car, you don't need to go light.
Yeah.
Why not have a 3-inch foam pad where you're going to sleep in heaven all night long and wake up? Sleep is so important, and people underplay that all the time. If you're out on a hunt for weeks at a time, or if you're out on a fishing trip, the trip's a whole lot better if you're sleeping good.
And not just that, I'm all about...
It's crucial.
Dude, this is a guy, and this is no lie, from like age 12 to graduating from high school, I slept in a sleeping bag on top of my made bed. So I wouldn't have to make my bed. I pulled it out from under the bed. I climbed in. I went to bed. I woke up in the morning and shoved it under my bed. Plus,
awesome.
sleeping bags feel awesome when they're thick and heavy like this kind of setup. You sleep like a baby in a bag like that.
Yeah, I run 2 sleeping bags. I run a light summer bag and a 0-degree bag. You never have to take them out. We sell these utility bags that we throw into that have, toothpaste. I get to wear contacts. It has solution contacts in there.
Yeah.
So I'm not like, oh, darn,
where's my stuff?
Yeah, I don't have
your
it's
toothbrush.
Always in there.
Kind of your little run and gun sack is right there. I like simple because when I get back to a truck after a long hike out where we pack meat out and it's like middle of the night now, it's a pain in the rear to blow up your pad, get your thing out and all that.
And sometimes you don't even want to set up a tent.
No, nobody wants to get finally to where they're planning on getting to then spend half the day setting up camp.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to unroll your bedroll right when you get there. Go go fishing, go scouting. At night when you get back, it literally takes 24 seconds to unbuckle the 3 buckles and get in the
24 seconds, not 30. 24 seconds.
And I didn't say 25. Okay, 24. Time me.
And so when you get that thing out and it's got like some poles you can put in there as well.
Yeah, you can use them. That's optional. If it's hot and it's not going to be bad weather, I probably, although we do have a new thing coming out, so I might use them more. But, I mean, I was even talking to Ben Shed Crazy about this the other day. I'll probably use the pole system in late season hunts, or if it's rainy or stormy, then it's perfect. It keeps it off you. If it's cold, it creates this hot. But you can flop the thing off you completely. And it's sweet to be able to have all your stuff in one spot. Your buddy calls you, and you just load the thing in and go. You don't pack.
So when you put like the bars over it and you sleep in it, and you just go to bed, right? Like on a typical, let's say, September night, you're going to be warm?
In September, I would probably do it. You've used the pole system way more than I have. He giggles about it still because
it's pretty cool.
You think it's for sissies or you like it?
I just think
it is gritty. Dude.
I just think it's genius.
Okay.
I just lay in there and think, this is pretty
awesome.
Cool. Yeah, it's like a little my own tent. It's if I wanted to watch a video, if I want to watch the Gritty Bowmen.
I wanted to ask you, Shirl, where did the idea of this come from?
Me and Seth was in Wyoming, and we had a wall tinned up, and we went out hunting. We come back, and there was a small hole in our tent that some squirrel or some creature had eaten. And so we went out the next day, and we came back, and the hole was huge. So anyway, we went home, and I thought, well, I'll just go get it sewed up. Well, I couldn't find anybody that wanted to have their my dirty tin in on their sewing machine. And so I couldn't get no one to fix it. And so I thought, I'll just buy my own sewing machine. And so that's what I did. And then
with a name like Shirl, makes sense.
Yeah. Sewing Shirl, it goes together. But I used to go out to the Book Cliffs a lot and horseback in there, and it seemed we'd get there at 10 o'clock at night, 11, and just let the horses out, and it never failed. About 2 o'clock in the morning, here'd come one of those little thunderbusters, and you'd have to pick up all your gear or crawl underneath the truck. And so I thought, one of these days I'm going to make a bedroll, or the wind would come up and it'd blow down. So I got this sewing machine, fixed my tent, and I thought, I'm going to make me something that I can use and go out, and if it rains, I can just throw it over, zip it up, stay dry, keep my gear in it. And so that happened like 17 years ago, and I've just been selling them word of mouth and doing okay. And everybody kept saying, you ought to get a
website.
Get serious.
Get serious about it, because they're pretty cool, and they make camping so much easier, and it gets people out more. So
for 17 years, you've just been selling them locally,
just
to friends,
word of mouth.
Word of mouth.
Yeah, I mean, one of the reasons I really appreciate this product is because it's just so darn redneck. It's like...
Thank you. Thank you. I am proud. I am a redneck, and I will never, ever back down from that.
But I mean, it is, right?
It's gritty, and I love, Sawyer Peacock has said this multiple times. He's always like, it's not a gimmick.
Yeah.
And it's really not. One of the reasons why, one of our big thing is to make gear that lasts. Yeah. Because we get so sick and tired, and I'm sure a lot of people do, forking out the cash for waders that after 2 times using them leak, or getting, some camo gear and you get the rain gear that costs like your child's college
nobody's.
savings.
I mean, there's
and it
not a
leaks.
lot of stuff like that's this durable and comfortable, right? Because
Yeah.
anybody can go out and buy a Bivy sack.
Yeah.
They have ones with little tent things inside that pop it up, and there's that already exists. But you're not tossing that in the back of your truck. You're not.
You aren't leaving your stuff in it. You don't leave your gear in a bivvy sack. You take it in and out.
Yeah.
This, you throw whatever you want in there, roll it up, and it stays in there. And you don't have to be like, oh yeah, I've got to throw that or remember this. It's just already there.
What kind of foam pad is in that?
It's a 3-inch. It's a very dense foam pad that we have. It's a similar foam that they use for high-end mattresses and
like memory foam kind of stuff.
No, it's not memory foam.
It's not a memory foam.
I went up and spent half a day with a foam guy, and we used to recommend some foam, and I took a piece of that up, and he showed me this foam and said, oh, this will last a lot longer. It's a lot durable, and so we went with that. And so it's good stuff. And people go to, like Sportsman's Warehouse, and they could pick up a piece of foam, but it's apples and oranges. It's not the same. We wanted something that you could actually throw out, and if it's uneven or if it's rocky, that you're not going to feel the rocks. And I sleep on my side, and I don't want my shoulder going to sleep, and I want something comfortable.
Well, that's the problem with like your typical, lightweight backpacking pad. I mean, I lament over this all the time.
Right.
It's, dude, a
not
week
sleep
backpacking trip. I
don't care who you are.
I just don't sleep that well.
No.
Not like I do in my comfy bed at home.
Nope.
No.
But being able to bomb up to a place and then just on a whim and then roll out the bag.
And nobody wants to take down camp.
Yeah.
It takes about 35 seconds, you can time me, to roll it up. Yeah. And you're done. You're done. How simple, how fast, how easy is that?
I'm all about that.
And it doesn't matter the weather. It doesn't matter where you end up.
What
you
if
just
there's
throw out
snow?
and you're good. Your money.
So
your money if it's snow.
You've got videos. If you check out their Instagram,
which
you're just Canvas Cutter on Instagram.
Which is where I first started
I've seen videos of you guys both hosing these down with a hose, but then also shoveling snow on them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Josh from Antler Trader and Ben, they were out shed hunting and got snowed on. And he has a video. A lot of people have mentioned that they found us through that. And, yeah, throw snow on it, throw water. Sawyer Peacock and Steve Sorensen, they threw Sawyer. He got in it. They zipped it up and threw him in a river. And they had a bridle hooked to it. They dragged him out of the river, and it was still dry inside of it. It's made to last. It's quality.
That's one trusting
and we guarantee
dude.
it.
I'm sorry. I don't think I'd do that.
You wouldn't get in a body bag and get thrown in a river?
No. I would, because I have Houdini skills, and I could get myself out.
I'm slightly claustrophobic.
Yeah, the pole system would be money for you, though. If you're claustrophobic, that's what we're doing there.
I hate the light. Like, I'm a sleep alpha. We've established that at Gritty Bowmen. Meaning, I'm very good at sleeping, and it's important to me. And that means when I wake up in the morning, I want it to be long after the sun has risen in the sky.
Sure.
So I
use the pole system,
and I'll sleep in. Like, that's what I need. I need because those tents, they let all that light in. Does this block light?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
full moon.
Have
you guys ever been out there with a full moon and it's light as day?
And you can't even sleep because it's just like beaming on you. Not happening.
Because I don't like to wear something over my eyes.
So how roomy are these? Because I actually have trouble sleeping in a mummy bag. It's too constrictive to me.
Well, for sure. And I don't like to have my legs.
Claustrophobic.
I'm slightly claustrophobic, and there's been a few times where I get all zipped in, and I wake up in the middle of the night and I forget where I'm at, and all of a sudden I can't move, and I can't get out of that mummy bag fast enough.
Okay, here's the story on that. There's a friend of ours down in St. George, and he sleeps in his every night.
Every night.
Alongside his bed.
Alongside the bed. His wife sleeps in the bed, and he sleeps in his bedroll. every night.
And so he approached me like 2 years ago and said, hey,
it's like a little kid.
You got to help me out.
Yeah.
Because I get claustrophobic when I zip it up. And I'm thinking, why would you zip that up in your house? But he does, and he wanted a pull system. And
he said his feet get claustrophobic.
Too.
He needs more room. My feet get claustrophobic, he says. I've got claustrophobic feet. And we're like, what?
Your
How
feet
do you
get
have claustrophobic feet?
I think that your brain gets claustrophobic.
So I put him off for a year, and he texted me last year and said, you got to do that for me. And I thought, no, I'm not doing that. So I accidentally run into him at St. George at a pizza place. So then he had me. He said, I don't care what it costs me. I want to pull on that thing, and it's got to be bigger. And so I went home over Thanksgiving and messed around with it and made one bigger, and it just had one pole. And I took it down, and he loved it. But then over Christmas, I just started messing around with the poles and thought, let's make it like a regular little tent.
Yeah.
And so that's where that sort of come about, is a guy that sleeps in it every night.
But to answer your question, it's 7 feet long, and it's 34 inches wide. And the Dominator is 17 inches deep. That's deep, that, and that's the sidewall. Then you have the 34 inches excess too in between those two sidewalls, so you actually get several feet. Like we have Scott Young, an ex-NFL lineman. He uses his all the time, and he fits just fine. He's a large specimen of a human.
Very large.
And I'm glad you asked that, because we've actually gotten a lot of emails and calls about, I'm 6'3" and 320 pounds. Will I fit? Yeah, you will. They're large. You can fit a lot of stuff in it.
You can fit a lot of man in.
A lot of man,
and I'm like
a lot
Seth.
of gritty man.
I have two bags in mine, and I have one of those, I don't know, Magnum ones that are like 40 inches wide and 90 inches, and it fits in there fine with just a little summer bag. So room's not an issue.
So curious, like, what is a favorite sleeping bag to go with this system? I mean, do you guys kind of have some, like...
Whatever your favorite sleeping bag is, it works with it. I know that's
okay, how diplomatic was that?
Yeah,
like, that doesn't help me at all. Since I don't buy bags that aren't backpack light, I really don't know. I haven't bought a sleeping bag that's like this kind of style bag in forever.
This is my problem. I'm running a Teton 0 degree bag, and it's extremely comfortable. But I'm a hot sleeper. I don't know how you guys sleep at night, but like right now, my wife has to have all kinds of covers on. And if I have a thin sheet, I'm still sweating. So I usually lie on top of that with my like 30 degree bag over the top of me, and it's just...
See, and we're just the opposite. I go out and...
He's cold.
I'm cold. I'm freezing to death. Seth's sleeping on top, and I'm burrowed clear down in the 30. So sleeping bags are... That's why we don't... People are so...
Everybody's so different.
Yeah.
And to have that large of a...
But people will ask, like, will my bag fit it? I promise you, you can have a very large sleep, because he does, a very large sleeping bag. And remember, nothing's holding those sidewalls up. They sag. So even though it's 30, the main size is 34, when it sags, it's really closer to, like 39, 40 inches.
Yeah. So there's no problem.
That's pretty wide.
So how often do you roll this out inside your truck versus on the ground?
He uses the truck a lot. We use cots too. It's super comfortable on a cot.
I think that's perfect. Just throw your cot out, throw that on it.
You can fit, and we've done it, and there's posts on our Instagram page to show it. But like you can fit two of them in the back of the truck, and it's comfortable. But sometimes he'll throw his in the back of the truck, and I'll throw mine on the ground.
And a lot of times we do that because first thing in the morning, that's all you have to do is just zip it up, and we can jump in the front of the truck and go. And then just take off, and if it rains, we're still okay, Cool. You don't even have to take the 35.
Yeah, 35 seconds to roll it up.
Okay.
You can just go.
So question people are going to be wondering, question I'm wondering is how much do they cost?
So the Dominator is $219.
Dominator.
Dude. If that's not gritty, dude, I don't know what it is.
$219, okay.
And then the Niner is $197.
Okay,
and the difference
so
is
roughly
the
about
sidewall.
$200.
Yeah, same length, same width. It's just the Niner is 3 inches shorter on the sidewall.
A little less canvas.
Yep.
Okay, and which one do you recommend for what?
I like the Dominator, but to be honest, a lot of people are like, because we're having a little thing right now where if you buy a Niner, you get a pull system for free, which is a super sweet deal. And they're like, "But I want a Niner." I promise, a Niner is sufficient for most people, but the Dominator is sweet, especially with the pull system, because it does give you a couple more inches height with the pull system. But
okay.
See, and I run a Niner.
He runs the Niner. I run the Dominator. They both work for our various needs.
Look, I don't know if I can own a Niner if a Dominator exists.
Thank you.
Although, it sort of makes...
There's this book out there called Ego is
Ego
the
is
Enemy.
the Enemy. Yeah, I've read it.
Yeah.
Brian Holiday, I think, wrote it.
But see, it's sort of like
it's
this,
a
Brian.
good read. You should listen
I
to it.
feel smaller in the smaller one.
Smaller one sounds cozy. But here's a question I had. Sorry, going back to sleeping hot. So it's summer. Nights out here, still like 70 degrees. How much added insulation or warmth does just the canvas cover alone add?
Not a ton. It's not a ton. You get most insulation actually using the pull system because it creates a dome which traps heat in. Yeah, it's an air barrier. But just the canvas alone, it's not a ton. I mean, there's a little, maybe a couple degrees, but not enough. But summer like this, I literally would probably just throw it off me. Or, and I've talked to a few people, I like to do this. I like to use the canvas as like the sheet or the cover. Just sleep on top of my bag with the canvas over me. But
yep.
Another question we get a lot is a lot of people like us to put a screen in it, but we found out that if you just use some bug spray and spray on the outside, that and a little bit on your sleeping bag, the mosquitoes bugs.
And screens tear.
Yeah,
we aren't building a product that's going to give you problems.
How long until somebody copies you and starts doing another canvas cutter? Because they're like, dude, this is genius. I'm going to do it.
We got to ask that today.
That's a great question. I don't know.
It's inevitable.
Yeah, it's inevitable. We just hope that, I mean, we already have new designs that we're going to be coming out with soon that's going to push the game a little bit more. But so far, from my research, and obviously it's something I care about, so I've done a decent amount of research on it. There's not a bedroll or a sleeping system like it yet. There's bedrolls, and they're neat, and you're going to pay a lot for them, but you're still going to get wet in them. You're still going to have bugs or rodents getting in your gear.
Right.
And this, you throw it out, zip it up. Women love it.
I was going to say, we got a couple of bedrolls that we got at an event we were at, and they're pretty cool, but they're just canvas flaps. They're not going to keep any.
That's neat, but
I kind of wondered what it was for.
Exactly,
because I was like, okay, well, I could see it going on my cot in my wall tent, with the bag and then I could like eat a hamburger and ketchup over it, and it keeps my bag clean. But otherwise, I didn't see.
And the ones you got didn't have no foam pad in them.
No. It's just a canvas sack, kind of.
See, in Australia, they're huge swags, but
they still swag bags in Australia.
They still have strings and stakes and poles. It's like setting up.
It's like an intense bivy, and we want to be simple, and
it'll always be simple.
Yeah, you're speaking my language.
And
here.
Durable. And
my truck's like Brian's. I mean, I just keep so much gear. I'm kind of like a mini prepper almost. And I could just see this being part of my truck, and it's always going to be in there. In fact, Jason from Drop Flies, we were out fishing the other day. We took a 4-hour drive to where we wanted to go fish. Well, we had to get up at 3 a.m. to do that, to make that drive. And we were saying to each other, man, if we had a canvas cutter, in fact, he had one at this point that you gave him, we could have driven out the night before.
Just thrown out.
And, just throwing them out, and I wouldn't have had to get up at 3 a.m.
Nope.
To get where we wanted to fish.
Yep.
Yeah, like the whole thing with hotels. Like, I don't like hotels for a lot of reasons.
First of all, it's not gritty, FYI.
It's not gritty. That's number one. I mean, literally, you have to go, and it's kind of sissy.
That people do that.
And then 2, like, they cost money, which I'm like, it's a place to sleep, people.
You're paying to sleep.
And then you just don't know what somebody else has done in those sheets and that bed, and if it's been
and how well it's been washed,
or if it was really washed at all.
You don't want to know.
You just don't know. And so that's another thing. How many people have lived in that room? Thousands and thousands, right? Yep. And so that creeps me out. And then you got to talk to people at the front desk. And
who wants to do that?
Because you hate to talk to people.
Usually, here's the thing: the places I'm going to stop on a road trip are so budget focused that the person at the front desk is not the sharpest individual you've ever met.
Yeah, I'm bringing back memories of Ketchikan, Alaska.
And so, that was scary, Chad. And so I would rather, I just avoid all that. Now, if Aaron's going to pull up to the Four Seasons and get us a room, I'm not going to complain.
Well, I'm not. Most of those mattresses aren't comfortable anyways.
Yeah.
I promise you, the 3 inches of foam heaven that you'll be sleeping on is much more comfortable.
Well, Aaron and I both prefer sleeping outside. We just like it. So
but I think most people are like me. I would rather leave at 9 o'clock at night and get somewhere at midnight and go to sleep, rather than have to get up at 3 in the morning to be at the lake at 6 a.m.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's nice. It's convenient.
That's the meal ticket, right?
Well, and half the time I'm like, I don't know where I'm pulling over or where I'm sleeping. Like,
and you don't have to go back to them.
And it doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm on the road so much, and I'm like, I might pull over at 3 hours. I might go 8 or 7. I kind of don't know how I'm feeling till the moment, and sometimes I just want to get out, and then I can just pull over, climb in the back of the truck, sleep for a while, and then get up and hit the road again, and I feel good. I'm big on sleep, on my own terms, not in a hotel.
No, and sleep's super important. I can't say that enough. It affects so much of your life and your health.
Yeah,
but
we talked about that a lot, so
for sure.
Any last questions?
Well, are you guys? This seems like it's going pretty well. Are you guys doing this full time now?
He's retired, and so he is. I'm still working, so it feels full time. When I'm not working, I'm doing this, and even when I'm working, I'm doing this most of the time. I'm really passionate about this. The outdoors, hunting and fishing is like, I grew up with an awesome dad that would take me hunting all the time. Like, we have home video of elk crossing the road, and I've got my pop gun, and I'm 2, and I'm like, Dad, can I shoot one? Nope. Can I shoot at it? It's so much of who we are, and we love it. And the outdoors nature is so healthy for people. And I think a lot of people, and I really believe this, I think a lot of people don't spend enough time out in nature because it's a hassle, especially if you have kids. Go camping with kids. And this simplifies that. If you have this and can just throw it in the car or the truck, go to where you're going, unroll it, and enjoy yourself. You don't have to worry about spending all this time setting it up. It's just it's ready when you are.
And in case people missed it, Shirl's your dad.
Yeah. Father-son.
Father-son.
So where can guys find you? Website?
Canvas Cutter at Canvas Cutter on Instagram, canvascutter.com. We're also on Facebook, Canvas Cutter.
If you go to Canvas Cutter online, you'll see on Instagram,
canvascutter.com.
You'll see their email. Email them and say, really enjoyed that podcast you did with Gritty Bowmen.
Thank you for doing an awesome product podcast.
That's right. Product podcast 50 done.
All your hate mail, send to Brian.
Yeah. No, I think it's cool, man, and that's why I wanted to. When I started the podcast, it's funny. I wanted to talk to people that knew things that I didn't know and pick their brain, and I wanted to talk to people about products they invented or products that they have that I'm curious about and interested in. Those are a couple things I think. And I thought, well, if I record it on a podcast, then other people can get it too. They can be privy to that conversation. If they're interested in it, they can follow it. Yep.
I think people will get to know us a little as we go along. But I'm sort of old-fashioned. I just bought a pair of pants that cost me a lot more than that Bedroll. And about the third time I used them, the zipper went out of them, and I'm thinking,
dang.
So I really want to stand behind our product. If you have a problem with it, you send me a picture. That's sort of we want to make it fair.
And we know that we can, because in the 17 years he's made them and sold them by word of mouth, we're just like getting serious now.
Yeah.
Because he's retired, and I want it. I know it's an awesome product.
Yeah.
I want to go with it.
Well, and that's one thing I like about it. They're handmade, made in the USA.
Mm-hmm.
So you know it's going to be quality.
Yeah, and we haven't had people come back and be like, "Oh, the zipper broke." We've never had that happen. People haven't brought it back and been like, "Oh, this don't." Like, yeah, somebody's put it on and it's rubbed up against their four-wheeler tire for like 25 miles and rubbed a hole through the canvas.
How many have caught fire?
None. I've had some. We
Because I could
started
see
a fire
Aaron
on a
catching
turkey
his
hunt.
on fire.
No,
Aaron
he
likes
won't.
fire, and he likes because it's cold. And
I had a huge ember land on mine, and because it was too close to the fire that was stoking, and it didn't catch on fire. It just
burns a hole.
burned a hole right there. Not my sleeping bag.
Yeah.
Just it. And we had one guy who laid way too close to his fire, and it didn't burn the bag. It just makes the canvas. Most of the canvas that we have
just dries it out.
Cracks it.
Yeah.
And I seen that, and he posted it, and I DM'd him and told him, "Hey, I'll send you a new one." And he said, "Oh, no, I'd use that." And he goes, "I've ordered another one anyway."
He had it for years and years.
But
That's awesome.
yeah, we'll stand behind our product.
Well, I'm super stoked to test that out.
Yep, I got a couple. Suzanne and I are going to go into the mountains, and do you have any that zip together?
Dude,
we get this
all the time.
Because how awesome would that be?
He made one for my cousin, and I posted a picture on it, and like 5 women DM'd like, "Will you make us one?" Like, because I called it the Honeymooner, and will you make us? I think you called it the Honeymooner. Will you make one? We've gotten. Ben wants one, Sawyer wants one, I myself want one, a double wide.
Yeah.
And he's got a good idea to where it will fold on top of one another so it won't be so huge, but no, they don't zip together
Not yet.
currently.
Not yet.
But you'll have a Honeymooner down the road probably.
Dude, don't quit buying these
one.
to wait for us.
No, I figure there's a lot of independent camping I do.
Right.
Then there's the camping with Suzanne.
Right. His motto behind it all is give it a rest for one night. But you know what?
Because here's what I think, though. I mean, you get a Honeymooner, and if you put those poles in it, and you put a disco light up there.
Oh, dude,
no.
this is going.
No.
Yeah.
All right,
we want
fine.
to keep it simple.
Fine.
Keep it simple, have your kids at home. But
That's really cool, though. So you kind of messed with that idea already.
yeah, he's made one, and I'm not joking.
kind of
I want one
prototype,
too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And a lot of we have gotten serious, DMs about like, I really want one. Are you guys going to make one? And we've thought about it, and he's got a really good idea. And if the demand is out there, let us know, and maybe we'll make it work. But
I don't need one. What are you
going to name it?
Once you buy your wife
The
a
Honeymooner.
cabin,
The Honeymooner works.
it's just too good. Yeah, I
I have some other names. I can tell you about them offline.
no,
Yeah.
my wife's not into camping anymore.
So, well, cool, guys.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to wrap up. We're going to have
Okay.
burgers. We're going to go eat burgers and
Yeah,
maybe hit the water, too. So I'm hungry.
Yeah. Thanks for having us on.
Yeah, thanks
Appreciate
so
you
much.
coming
Awesome.
on.
We
Yeah.
appreciate what you guys do.
It's
Love
great.
it.
I'm excited. It's a good product. I think I'm going to. Well, I'll let people know if it's good or not.
Dude.
Seriously. And I'm not joking. I want people to go out there, really use and abuse it, and give us feedback.
Yeah.
If there's a problem with it, let us know so we can fix it. Like, we don't want to make below average product.
Yep.
So the problem is that hasn't happened yet. But
Cool.
sounds
Dude.
good.
All right.
Okay.
Stay gritty, guys.
Stay gritty.
Thanks, guys.
Although our native trout species are resilient fish, they are facing an uphill battle. Historically, there were 28 species of trout that lived in our waters, but 3 of those are extinct. According to Trout Unlimited's research, 13 of the remaining 25 species occupy less than 25% of their historic range. 6 are listed as either threatened or endangered. Renowned conservationist Shane Mahoney recently said, quote, "The natural resources in our country is what makes our country so great. We can have mountains and we can have streams and we can have forests. But if there's nothing living in them, they're meaningless." I agree. Let's not forget that our right to fish depends on habitat. Let's be good stewards of our fisheries and fight to protect and preserve our public lands. Our wildlife habitat depends on it.